I feel passionate about in terms of what immigrants bring to this community. It is really about bringing some vibrancy and some diversity. I think, particularly in the Midwest, would be lacking without some immigrants here. Our immigrants come here, and particularly those who are entrepreneurial, and they open grocery stores and beauty shops, and they become your co-workers at Principal and at Wells Fargo, and when you get together for social events, you learn so much from those individuals. And I often, when we have students at the urban campus, I always tell them, if you come from a different country, don't just think of yourself as needing to adapt and adjust to being here. Remember what you bring, that your culture is an asset. Government cannot do everything. There are wonderful nonprofits like the Iowa International Center. You do lots of things that people think of maybe that government should be taking care of in the ESL area, in allowing immigrants to access interpreters for the justice system, for the medical area. In our family, having a sister who's disabled was a blessing, because it was because of her that all of us in our family learned empathy and compassion. She is sort of the emotional center of our family. So we grew up with that sensitivity, not just because of my connection with my sister, but because that's how we grew up. We got to know other individuals who had challenges, who overcame them, etc. And it just became a very natural part of who we were, and it became a very natural part of my life and my work, that I would end up working with individuals who are in one way or another disenfranchised and vulnerable. Now 16. While I have always been involved in the Asian community since I have been in the States, when they were born, it became more important to me. I realized that if we live here in Iowa, and their father is actually from Iowa, and so it would be very easy for them to grow up and not identify with the Asian part of who they are. So I was very purposeful in making sure that this part of their identity, they got to know it, that they lived it, and to the extent that I think now if you ask them, they probably feel more Asian than they do anything else. And understanding and remembering what it's like to be in an unfamiliar environment and having to navigate in an unfamiliar environment. And I felt like the same person, but people didn't see me the same way that my friends back home did. When I first came here, you become a rather two-dimensional person. They see you as a foreign student or somebody from Singapore, and they don't see all the other parts of who you are. And so I always try and remember that whoever comes before me, just because I'm not familiar with who they are, doesn't mean that they don't have this entire rich history behind them, that how they feel and